Good morning, seventh graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 19. So just really quick, we're continuing with our typing lessons. So I noticed that 43% of you completed the one-page typing test from last week's assignment. Please finish that up. And there is another assignment this week. So if you just check inactive assignments, you'll notice every week what the assignment is. When you're done with it, you get 100. Oh my gosh, how easy is that? So this is just a good way to keep up with the typing, right? And to make sure that you're building up those skills. So just anticipate every week you'll have a new typing lesson. Check your typing account, set a reminder in your phone, do my typing Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, just make up something and make sure that you get it done, all right? Okay, so this week we're moving along with our internet safety lessons, and we have an interesting lesson this week. We're learning about big data, and so this is something that impacts everybody. I would say, gosh, it's pretty much from kids all the way to adults. And I don't know if you guys are growing up with an age where, see, when I was a kid, like, and I feel like I'm not that old, but when I was a kid, like, there really wasn't like Netflix or YouTube or any of that stuff. Like, if you wanted to watch something, you just had to check, okay, 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, my show is on, and that's it. Like you watch your show at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, or there was like the Saturday morning cartoons, right? And then what would they do? They would have advertisements for things that was a kid age, right? And they would try to advertise, toys or whatever it was to try to get the kids to want to, Mom, I want that, right? Or if they knew that it was a show that adults were watching, they're advertising something for adults, vacations or a new telephone or whatever, right? And now things are so different, right? Because you guys, you don't even do that anymore. Now it's like you want to watch a show, you just go on Netflix or YouTube or whatever, Disney Plus, you click on the episode you want and you're watching it. And so there's a different way that they advertise now, like the traditional old-fashioned advertising of television ads and the way it used to be. That's kind of fading out now. Now it's all about what can they collect from you on the internet. What are you searching? What are you watching? What are you clicking on? And they're watching you so that way they can then advertise exactly what you like and they can get you to buy their products. And so we're going to be taking a look at how that all comes together. We're actually going to even be watching a short little Lego video today, believe it or not, with little Lego people. But my hope is to make you guys more aware that this is happening. So that way you won't fall for the traps when you're like, oh my gosh, I was searching for sneakers. And how did they know I needed sneakers? I keep getting all these sales for sneakers now. And then you think it's like magic that they just, all of a sudden they're sending you coupons for sneakers. They knew what you were searching. And they collected that information, or data, they call it. And now they're sending you coupons for sneakers because they want you to buy the sneakers, right? So if you think that anything that you search on the internet is private, then I am bursting your bubble right now. Okay, it's bursting open. They know everything you type in Google, that you're searching, you're watching, you're clicking. They're collecting that information and they're using it to target you so that way they can get your money and they can get nice and rich, which is what they do, right? Off of the consumers. So you need to be aware of this. So that way, when it does happen, you're not just like, oh my gosh, whoa, and then you just fall for it. And maybe, it can be helpful. So I don't want to, I guess, go into the lesson with just a completely negative thing where it's like, this is all terrible and like these people are evil. Like it is a form of marketing, right? And it is helpful because if, say, you are looking for something, like you're in the market to buy whatever, a new shirt or something, and now they are starting to, send you information about whatever it is you're looking for. Maybe you really like it. You're like, oh, this is so helpful, and then you end up finding something that you end up buying. So, I don't want to say that it's all bad, but I do want you to go into it, using your smart brain, right? That God gave you to make informed, educated decisions about things that you purchase on the internet, that you look at on the internet. And so then that way, it isn't, something that you're just like, oh my gosh, I have no idea about this. So we're going to be taking a look at the question, how do companies collect and use data about you? So we'll be taking a look at that, learning about why certain information is important to them. And then we're going to be talking about that you're going to be having, I'll come back to this after because this is the last part of it. So what is a consumer? Let's talk about that. So a consumer is anybody who goes in and buys something, a product, a service, right? You can be an online consumer. You're shopping on Amazon, you're shopping at Target.com, whatever it is. You're an online consumer. You're going into a physical place. You're a consumer. You're putting things in your shopping cart. You're buying them, right? And so that's what a consumer is. They're the ones that go in with the money and they buy the products and the services, right? And what is data? So data is any information that's collected about you. So it could be, again, oh, this person is constantly, gosh, they've been searching for sneakers all week. And now they're collecting that information and they know that you've been searching for sneakers all week. It must be something that's really on your mind. Or, your parents been searching for vacations away from NYC. I need to get out of here. And then now they keep getting ads, come to the Bahamas, fly here for free, right? And then they're just like, ooh, maybe I'll click on that. And so this is the data that they collect about people. And they also collect anything that you put in. So whatever you give to someone, when you create an account on a place that you shop at or whatever, you might put in a bunch of information. Well, guess what? Now they know, ooh, this 12-year-old is really into this game. Like some of you guys who have Steam accounts and all those types of things, they know, oh, these are the types of games that this person buys. And so then they're like going to send you certain games that then, because they know this is the genre that you like, right? So that's just how it works. So hopefully it's starting to make a little bit of sense to you. Okay, so let's put the video on. And then we'll come back and kind of talk about this a little bit more. So let me just put the video and let's watch it because I think.
Fear not. Let us break it down for you. Big data is the act of collecting large data sets from traditional and digital sources to identify trends and patterns. That information is used by companies to improve what they know about customers' wants and needs. The goal should be to make solid decisions based on data and not just hunches. People are increasingly willing to hand over their personal data in return for products and services that make their lives easier. But what does that mean for you, the source of the data? Well, think of it as a trade. Let's say Becky tweets about a store she recently visited. That store could mine data from her tweet and thousands of others to figure out where its customers are and what they're saying about its products. Maybe the store decides to open a new location way across the city because social media shows the demand there is popping. Tweets and Facebook posts are a bit harder to analyze than structured data like store receipts or web traffic. Unstructured text or images require special software to extract their meaning. And since the volume of unstructured data is so large, many businesses need to use special hardware just to organize and understand it. Companies that are on their game use both structured and unstructured data flow to build up their customer insights each step of the way. Pretty crazy, right? Data-driven marketing is what it's all about these days, and every organization should know the 3 V's of analysis if they want to succeed. Volume, the amount of data; velocity, the speed at which the data is generated; and variety, the kind of data available. The more data a business analyzes, the more it can make the experience better for the customer. For a typical company, just a 10% increase in data accessibility will bring in more than $65 million additional net income. So, should Becky worry that her information is being passed around between large corporations? Maybe. It's not exactly a regulated practice, but in this day and age is nearly impossible to avoid, and data collection is not going anywhere. By the year 2020, about 1.7 megabytes of new information will be created every second for every human being on the planet. Even the White House has already invested more than $200 million in big data projects. But just because information is collected doesn't mean it will necessarily be used. In fact, only 0.5% of all aggregated data is ever analyzed. But there are steps Becky can take to limit the amount of accessible data. She can read the terms and conditions before installing apps. Some of them ask to access phone contacts, GPS locations, even the mic recorder. Limit geotags on social media, and be aware that anything you type into a search engine will be documented, even in private browsing. So there you have it. Big data is the ultimate business tool of the future, and it wouldn't be possible without you, the consumer.
Okay, so I hope that video kind of helped to make a little bit of sense to you, what we're trying to learn this week. So you see how these companies, right, it helps them to target their advertising, right? Because they know the types of things that the people like. They know where their customers are located. They're able to figure out the ages of them and just kind of like the trends and everything. And so you may not even realize, right, that you're being tracked. That maybe an app that you downloaded, every time you post something on there, they're tracking where you are. And they're able to then figure out, oh, look, they're shopping at this place, or look what they're talking about, or they just got this. Ooh, they really must be into that game. They just posted a screenshot of them winning. And so then it's helping the companies to target the advertising to the consumers that they know will be most likely to purchase their products, right? And so even like if you guys have an Alexa at home, right, and you just talk to Alexa, I mean, she's then everything that you ask, guess what? It's being recorded, right? You're asking Alexa, where's the best place to eat here? I really want Chinese food. And then, this person likes Chinese food. So then they're putting it in there. We should send them ads for like coupons for the Chinese restaurants or whatever. Or this person really likes, but I don't know. I know I keep saying sneakers. I don't know why I keep coming with that example, but it could be anything that you were looking for. Music, a song you were searching for, a game, I don't know, a show, and something else you wanted to buy. You're like, I need to get more yarn for my knitting. So they can just pretty much track everything that you're doing on the internet, right? And they can track it through the apps and stuff because so I don't know if you guys remember, I'm trying to think if we talked about it last year. That every app and every website has something called a privacy policy, and it has a terms of service. And these are kind of like the little fine print things that no one ever clicks on. But if you ever go into those, so like before when you're registering for an account, it'll always say like you have to click on the little button that says like I agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. Everybody always just clicks on it. No one ever clicks on the thing and reads it. But if you actually do click on it and read it, it'll tell you exactly what they're doing with your data. So it'll say like, we have the right to collect whatever data you submit to us is now ours, that we share it with these people. And then, so they're letting you know because they're protecting themselves, right, from any legal action that could come up against them, because they could say, well, you checked off, you agreed to these terms of service. So you knew that every picture you posted on here, we could do whatever we want with it. It's our picture now because you put it on our site. And then you're like, but no, I didn't want to put that picture on there. Well, too bad, you agreed to it, right? Or, we're going to share it with this third party, all the data that we collect on you. And then you're like, this is not right. Well, sorry, you agreed to it. So you do have to have kind of an awareness, and there are ways. So also another thing you guys might notice, and I wonder, I think if it's in this lesson, I can't remember. Oh, cookies. Yeah. So I was going to tell you about that. Whenever you go to a website or something, there always a little box pops up, accept cookies. And everybody always just clicks because you just want to keep moving on to whatever you're doing. When you click on that, you're agreeing for them to place a little file on your computer that will track whatever you're doing. So it's almost like now a little file from that, whatever it is that you are, just got on your computer. And now that file can connect to other parties and give information to them too about you, that they know, oh, look, they were at this website. This is something that they're interested in. And they can track kind of like your online behavior. So this is something that's in the privacy settings. There's a way to turn off cookies. There's a way to clear out cookies. So if you ever go into your history in your internet browser, you can clear out cookies. So any files that have been placed on your computer that you allowed to be on there, and you can clear them off. You can also turn it off. And you could be careful, like limiting what you share, right? And knowing that whatever you type into that Google search bar, they know. I don't know if you guys watched the NYE, the New Year's Eve thing that they had on, but I remember one of the commercials was like talking about the most asked questions of 2020. And of course it was like, do face masks work? Is COVID-19 deadly? And so like they had like all the top questions that people typed in. Well, how do they know that? Because they track everything you type in there, right? So if you think you're on some private browser and you're like secretly searching up some topic and you think they don't know, just bursting your bubble today, pretty much big time. They know what you guys are doing on there. So be careful, limit what you share and think about what you're, searching on there. Because the minute you search something, you better bet little ads and things are going to pop up. And you're going to be like, oh no, I didn't want that ad to pop up. Now they're going to know I was searching for that. So do not, you need to be super careful. We just talked about cookies. So, okay, so let's go to the activity that we're going to work on. Let me pull it up actually. So you guys are going to pretend, let me make it bigger. So you're going to pretend that you are in charge of a new product at a clothing company. It's called Threadmeister. And the company is making plans to design and release a brand new jacket. You have to analyze the consumer data table below to decide what type of product it will be. Will it be a jacket, shoes, hat, pants, shirt, or something else? And what details will you include for it? So here's the information that they have collected from the internet, from people that have been clicking around. Most of the customers come to Threadmeister to buy jackets. So you're like, I'm designing a new product. Most people come to this website for jackets. So you're like, it probably should be a jacket. Many Threadmeister customers also shop for hats, scarves, and boots. So you're like, they shop for accessories, hats, scarves. So you're like, I wonder if there's some way I could incorporate a jacket with a hat or a scarf, right? So remember, you're in charge of marketing, coming up with this new product. You want to sell a lot of it. You want to keep your job, right? Most jackets that are brought in general are the dark color. So people like blue, black, and charcoal. So you're like, I'm definitely not going to go with neon green. That's not going to sell. And the majority of Threadmeister customers live outside of cities and in colder climates. So they live outside of cities. So that tells you, more maybe rural or suburban or something like that, but it's cold, so it probably snows. So it needs to be pretty warm, right? So you're going to start typing in each of these boxes some design details for your new product. And then you're going to actually create it. So you could use, maybe use a draw tool or something, like if you want to do it in Microsoft Paint, and then just copy and paste it into your document so we could see what your new product will look like. So if you go into Paint, you could easily just draw in here and then you could save your file and then you could just copy and paste it into the part 2 of the project. So again, you now are on the other side. You're not the customer, you're not the consumer, you're working for the company. And so now your job is to use the big data to create a product that will make a lot of money, because that's your job. Your job is to bring in money for the company that you work for. So you have to be smart about your design, and you want to make sure that it meets all of the information, the data that you collected, that it's actually taking that into your design, and you're making something that meets that need for the people that are like shopping, right? Because these are the people that come to your website. So I think that you should definitely think about this, read through your data, type in all your details, and then you can actually design it, okay? And then there is a short quiz that goes along with this. It's the big data quiz. So it's inside of the 7th grade technology class, the Google Classroom. So I noticed that quite a few of you, actually, let me just call out the names. If I call your name, you did not sign up for the Google Classroom, and I don't, so that means that you didn't take the last quiz from lesson 1. Paulina, Caleb, Isabella, and Lauren. So I was just missing 4 people. So good job. The rest of you guys did go in and take the quiz. Be careful because you want to do well on the quiz. So they're usually pretty short, like 5 questions or something. But if you need to go back to this video to check, I want you to do well on it. And for those kids that I just called your name, go into the Google Classroom, make sure you're signed in. I emailed you a link last week. If you're having a problem, please contact me this week, because every week that we do these internet safety lessons, there's a quiz. And so I don't want you to get behind. And then there's like 7 quizzes and you're like, oh, I never got into the Google Classroom. You're going to have such a hard time trying to go back remembering the information. It's good when it's fresh. You just did the lesson. You go take the quiz. You get 100 on it, right? So the big data quiz is in here. Make sure you take it. Make sure you type your answers in here and send that to me, and then do your typing. And that's your assignment for this week. And next time you're searching online, make sure you stop and think, whatever I type in here, they're keeping track of my data, my information. Do I really want them to have this on me? So think about that. All right, guys. See you next time. Bye, guys.